Well, hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of White Valley, my Transport Fever series, and today we're on to episode number 10. Again, at this current stage when recording this, only episode 1 has been publicly released, so you can tell that I have not integrated feedback, that's the bottom line. So in today's episode I want to make more money, because overall it's a bit hit and miss to be honest. Right now, the income is doing good, but I want to try push that to 100 million, and I also want to go ahead and, as I said at the end of the last episode, ship more coal. So what we now have is we have another coal train. We have 3 coal trains running this route, but the production is really going up. So this is up, it was down at about maybe 150, just about doubled, and now this place as well is already wanting to expand. Alright, sorry, has expanded to 200. Which is great. In between this and the last episode, I spent a lot of money upgrading trucks, so all trucks are going to a larger size, which can now hold 20 instead of 13, so that's going to have a large impact on the whole map. It means that production rates should in general increase because there's a larger capacity, and that should hopefully mean that there is larger throughput. It does cause 1 or 2 issues though, i.e. this. We'll come back to this very shortly though, but basically the issue is some of the trucks are still in the process of upgrading, by the way, so this is why you're seeing stuff like that. But we had a similar issue to this in the town of Hetton, and as you can see here we've now got this bad boy in operation because there was just so much traffic before. There's only 3 routes that come into here, but this is just so much better, it's just so much easier. The problem is though, is this would not work up the hill. And the reason is because you'd still have long queues, it's just because the trucks are spread out on these routes, and that's why there's not really much queues. You can see all 3 of these trucks, they actually want to be in with the one area, but they're sort of not, which is great. The solution, this station works here, but it won't work up in the hills, and we're going to have to combat that with a train. That's the bottom line. Am I going to build that this episode? I don't know though. One good thing though, all in all, out of all this, is that the production of steel is insanely increased. And then if we come over to here, we're seeing that this has now upgraded to 400, which is great. So this means we probably need to start shipping more wood, which we did have plenty of, but somehow we've actually run out of wood. Which for the first time ever, there's not wood waiting here. Why is this? It's basically down to I'm looking for a planks truck. There's actually no planks to ship, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. So stuff's going out, your production's doing great, but it's just stuff is getting picked up so fast it's disappearing. This truck's in here, it's leaving with nothing, which is just madness. However, there are solutions to this. So 1, we need to add more trucks on at this end, but 2, there's also another forest up here, and I've sort of like pre-predicted this day would come. It's just not come, that's the bottom line, but now it has come. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this up to here. I'm going to have to upgrade this station, that's for sure, shortly, and this is going to be called G Hampstead Wood 2, because there's already one existing, the red one. As you can see, the red route going off to the side there, so that's doing quite well. What I just need to do is just get this route working as well, and then I'm also going to add some more trucks onto the red routes, maybe 1 or 2 extra. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to start off with only 5 trucks for the wood, and that's, I mean, it's a capacity of 100, and it's quite a short journey anyway, so it's not that bad. And then what I'm going to do is add in 1, 2, and you're going to go on to the much larger Hampstead Wood original line, which is fine. Then with that done, what we need to do is come back over to here. I need to delete you, yes. We then need to select a bit of a better station, which has 3 lanes, so we'll probably go for this bad boy here. Can we fit you in here? We should be able to. Look how close I can get that. That's insane. Is that literally clipping that? It just about is, but it's actually, this is what I like about the new update. This is one of the things they specifically mentioned in the trailer. And then what I need to do is get you to connect into there, which is not going to happen at all. I can just tell you that right now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this location across the road, I think. Just because I think it's going to be more practical over there. So we pivot you around and I'd love to have you in there. That should hopefully carry the routes over. I know it's moved quite a bit, but yeah, it carries the routes over, no problem. And you guys all have your own terminals in there, which is good. So the volume at that which wood can be processed now will be so much higher, which is very nice to see going forwards. That's going to have a knock-on effect down here. That's going to increase the production of tools, which is really what I'm wanting. That's going to happen. This has been upgraded as well. I'm pretty sure this was upgraded before though. No, it was last episode or 2 episodes ago. I can't remember. I'm recording like 4 episodes in a row right now. But you can see as well that the amount of steels coming in, that's very good. You're at a limit of 400s, which is nice, but I want that production for both of them to raise to about 300s. That train's at that end and there's already a lot of steel building up, which is good. So the time it gets back up there, there should probably be another full train good to go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, as we can see, there's a lot of trucks coming down here. There's still a lot of fuel. There's still a lot of everything. I need to deal with this issue here though. That's really the bottom line. What I want to do is I probably want to go ahead and create 2 stations, and that's just the best thing to do, I think. I think I should be able to do this, so I'm not 100% sure. We'll just have to wait and see. So what we're going to do is we're going to not align the terrain. That's annoying. We can actually go for a smaller one anyway, such as... Oh, this game. Can you go there? Yeah, so we can align that there. So if I move maybe 1 or 2 routes over here, then that would make a difference. A large difference, hopefully that is. It's just because everything's getting dropped off. If we have like a drop-off one and a pick-up one, that would be great. The traffic isn't actually that bad right now, but all in all it is, in general, quite bad. So what I want to do is, I'm thinking what's at this side. The Hetton's at this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to alter the Hetton construction line. So you are G Hetton and you should be Con. G Con. So there we go. So that's it here. So I'm going to get rid of that first one there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have to get rid of that there as well. And we're going to have to put you in via there. So I hope supplies land up going into this place. They should split evenly. That's really what I'm hoping for right now anyway. So that seems to be working out nicely. As long as you both get supplies evenly, then that's fine. So that's got 18, that's got 7, that's got 8. That should be fine, no problem. I need to make sure that the route is going via the waypoints though, because yeah, it's not. I don't want it to cause unnecessary traffic, which it looks like it will be doing. So Hetton Exchange, after Hetton Exchange you're going to stop there. And that's wrong. Hetton Exchange, stop there. Is that right? Yes, you'll come along this road here. That's fine. And then after that, you're going to go to there like so. What has happened here? No, I've got these the wrong way around, so I'm very quickly just going to switch them. Yeah, there we go, that looks a lot better. So, I don't know why, it was very, very strange, but that's that problem solved, which is nice to see. Okay, so in terms of the trains as well, the trains are looking much better, much more profitable, which is great. The steel line's doing amazing, coal's doing amazing. Sorted out the blue line a little bit, and the crimson line has just generally got better, which is nice to see. So the next thing I want to do is I want to actually work down this valley here, because the amount of trucks that are coming along here, we can definitely justify a railway station and just transporting goods. That's really what we can do, and that's what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off up here, and we're going to go for our railway station. It's going to be a goods one, and it's going to be maybe not end of the line. I'm just not at all sure. I'm going to make this extra long as well, and we're going to build you right on there like so, and then we should be able to build a nice small roads. No, I don't quite want that. I want that though down to there like that. So that's definitely in sphere of influence, which is great to see. Now you're going to come along, you're not going to come via crude oil because I'm happy to still run trucks on that section, but then you need to come along here and you're going to come in and be the first ever person at Hessen East, which is going to be our goods station, which is going to serve hopefully much more fuel into here. Right now it's at 54%, but we can easily get that up much higher. It's actually insane what's going on over here. Something must be wrong. Or no, it's just, that's dropped. That's down at 108, 112. Why is that so low? It's very disappointingly low, that is. How are we doing here actually? So the amount you've got waiting, you've got 20, so you've got a truck's worth. And you should pick up 20, which you have. So I'm just trying to work out what's more in demand right now. Is it coal or is it steel? And I can't really work that one out, to be honest. I mean, I think I've got a lot of coal on the move. If we come over here, that's at like 400 odd, so we maybe need another coal train. I mean, I'm happy to put one on, and we're just about at the stage as well where I'm going to double up this whole track anyway, so we don't have any more waiting, because I have seen one or two trains waiting, not that often, but we now just have the money. That's the thing, we really do have the money. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to build a railway line pretty much out of here. So this is just going to be straight as possible, which that does have a bit of a bend, but it needs to come behind the crude oil. One thing I don't want is a bridge actually, but I'm going to have a bridge anyway coming down here. That's just most likely. I can probably make that look a little bit better with some terraforming off camera. Then what you're going to do is you are going to curl around here like so. We're going to cross the river. And then we're going to start our approach into here, which that's not the best, to be honest. What I will happily do is pay for a tunnel to there. Then what I want to do is I just want to make a gradual incline. I don't want a bridge there because that's just a bit silly. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill that out a little bit there, fill you back just a little bit here, and that makes for a much better runway, if you will, going in there. So if we jump into here, grab that like that, and then that, ladies and gentlemen, should do... Nope, okay, right, I'm going to sort this out very quickly. Right, so here we have the entrance, which looks so much nicer now, and I'm really happy with that. And I've also gone ahead and already pre-signaled and doubled up the line. So it's just the amount of fuel, honestly, it's absolutely insane. We've already got a shit ton of trucks moving stuff, and they're all leaving full. The production rate here is something insane, so that's why we really need to get trains, and a lot of trains, on this route. So if we start off by actually looking at the current capacity, I want to calculate it. So this is the... First of all, you've got the Coburn trucks coming in here, and you've got the Hetton ones coming in here. So the Coburn, that's what, 4... That is 18 trucks, 18 times 20, you can do the math. Then we've also got the Hetton route as well, which Hetton fuel, it doesn't actually have as many trucks on it, but we're definitely going to get trains doing our dirty work for us. And we're probably going to get about 3 trains on this, so it's going to be a lot of trains, that's for sure. Will we get a line to Hetton? I'll discuss that in just a second. So if we go ahead and build a small siding, then we get ourselves the train depot and we stick you on there like that. Let's see what train we can go for. Now fortunately this route is relatively flat, it's a valley route, so we can just go ahead and pretty much just go for lots and lots of wagons. At this end we can definitely support at least trains probably 12 long. That should be 10, 11, 12. It's 15, no, is that 12? Yeah, no, 15, yeah that is 15. Is it? Do maths, Callum, that's 11. No, that's 12, there we go. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to go with 12, and then I'm going to go with these Class 218s because they're relatively good value. So we'll go for that, we'll buy 1, 2, I'm actually going to buy 3 of these trains because 1, I've got the money right now, and 2, I definitely think the demand can be there going forward. So let's go ahead and let's connect up you. Let's close line manager for now. This is the first train of probably long-term many, and I mean a many, going to be coming into Hetton. So this is Hetton fuel. I realise I've really not got my naming principles correct for trains right now at all, do I? But let's go ahead and set you onto the G Hetton fuel, and off you guys go. So with that launch, I've spent a good 40 million there, probably more on the line, probably about 60 million on this project alone actually. This now means that I can get rid of that truck route though, which I mean currently makes quite a lot of money, and which is great. However, it's just not good enough. So let's go ahead and delete you guys, and that is goodbye from that. That's all she wrote. Okay, so that's done. That's great, and I'm really happy. We should already start to see a lot of this fuel just spread its load. A lot of this, all the truck stuff now is going to be for Coburn. Right now, how are we going to get Coburn connected up? Well, we easily can, that's the thing. Construction materials we could easily take down from here. First of all, I mean, the amount of trucks that's going on up here anyway, it might really be worth it. And also, right now, Coburn buses have got a really high demand as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the Crimson Line. What I want to do is, right now, as we know, the Crimson Line goes from Manhattan over to Burnham, then from Burnham into Telscombe, and then currently into Maidstone. I'm just going to continue this on now to Coburn, and then to Kendal, and then wherever else. That's really what I want to end today's episode on. Now, I was a little bit silly here in that I've not really gone ahead and pre-built a station here while this town has been growing. But I know where I'm going to put it anyway, so it's going to be on this side of town, quite close to the bus station currently. This could definitely do with a tram as well, this town. I mean, I could really do either side. The thing is, this town's not on a flat plateau though, that's the only problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I am at the stage now where I can delete stuff and it still be financially okay, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a 2-platform station, just a small wee passenger station. I brought in some more stations, which is good. I've unlocked more stuff as well, which is very nice. So we're gonna go with this. Let's go for 3 because I like the oddness of 3, and then let's go high-speed tracks, obviously, because why not? Actually, you don't have a platform in the middle, do you? That's a bit annoying. We'll just go for 2 then. So this is where this is going to be situated, up in the mountains here, and how easy is it to get to? I'm starting to think maybe this isn't the best area. What about if we had it like up here? I think that would be better. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete some of this, and then delete some of this. Probably you again if we can. I know that costs a lot, and that costs a lot, so we're going to pause. Yeah, we should be able to get a good station in here though. I would actually like to get 2 stations into this town anyway, because we need to get a good station in here long term. Because if we are going to be shipping in fuel, then we might as well. Let's go for that there. So that's, I mean, it's quite high up, it overlooks the town, which is fair enough. Whereabouts is the goods in the town? So the goods is at this side as well, so what I maybe want to try for is if we can make a goods station just beside it, or just below it, or whatever. So if I jump into here right now, and then go for freight station, and go for something pretty much similar, but if I just flip you around like so. That's what I want, but I want it in reverse. So what I want to do is we're going to delete you, we're going to delete that bit there because it's annoying me. Then what I want to do is, I'm actually going to change the angles anyway because it needs to more be this way. Let's go back into stations, let's go back into freight, let's pivot you right the way around and do something like that. And then for passengers, let's jump into here and let's do something like that. And that's absolutely perfect. That is literally what I want. Now in terms of passengers, it's going to be difficult to get the passengers to this location, but that will be resolved easily by a tram, so it doesn't really matter. You can have train stations out of town, and a lot of mines are. Just going to smoothen a lot of this out because it looks pretty hideous right now, and then we're going to try and get some of this all connected up. Long term, I think that we should be able to probably do a loop round to Hatton Bayside train station as well. That's my long term aim, but for now we're just going to have to sort of avoid that. Now if we turn our attention over to this side and turn our attention over to Maidstone, Maidstone station's interesting, and the exit is going to have to go under the town because of just how it is really. So if you were to come out and maybe just come out a little bit more over there like so, or at least a line to come out over here, you can just see the amount of line that's actually going to be under. It's some drop to get down to that station, but there is. I mean, this whole town's on a hill. If you look at it, it is on sort of quite a sharp decline, and the train station's pretty much at the bottom of that, so that does cause some issues. Then this is going to speed along, and that will... I really don't want a bridge. I'm not a fan of unnecessary bridges, so we'll go for unnecessary embankments. Now, this is interesting. I don't think I have enough incline. That's the problem. So what we're going to have to do is we probably are going to have to build a bridge actually. If we cut you back first of all and then we go for something like this, then yeah, we are going to have a bridge. So if we force that like so, and that works out fine, and then if we just... Right now we're only going to be using one of these platforms anyway, so if we have you coming along here, then you should be able to snap all the way to there, only costing 600k, but all in all it is costing a fair amount. And then we have you coming right under Maidstone, and then into the station there, which should be perfect, and voila, so there we go. So as we can see, that is the tunnel, and at this end here, which I'm starting to think maybe isn't the best place to have a crossroads. We could just have that going round the back, but I'm not going to use this for a long time. Food's probably my last exploration, because there's no farms in central locations, they're all on the very outside, which causes me a lot of difficulties. So with those lines built, what I want to do is I want to now go ahead and build some goods lines. That's really what I want to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a singular line which pulls out of the station here. If we can go ahead and get rid of that, that would be great. And then let's just have you sort of just roll along the hillside, or come up the hillside at least. And then maybe just come around here actually, like so. Now, long term, I would love a station up here, and that's sort of what I'm going to pre-build. However, where are we going to build it? That's the question, because this place is quite logistically challenging, just as we know from previous. So if we jump into goods, this is where I would like the station. Is the station going to go in here though? I don't think it will, in terms of length, so I'm going to have to shorten it for now. Though again, this is still really not wanting to play ball at all. If we try and build a station all the way up here, then that's just not going to work at all either. But Yarn Sphere of Influence. What about all the way over here, for example? I mean, that's logistically tight, but it's also out of Sphere of Influence. What happens if we were to do one all the way up here? Then we're quite high up the hill. I feel we're too unnecessarily high up the hill, so I'm very quickly just going to do some terraforming and see what I can do here. So there we have it, so that is the station in the correct position. Now I can already pre-read one or two of the comments, and it's going to be like, oh, you shouldn't be terraforming. One, yeah, okay, I shouldn't have the free terraforming tool, I would agree with that, but I think I should allow myself to terraform on the basis that a lot of stations need to have lots of terraforming done. Maybe not like in USA, because the majority of the country is flat, but especially in Europe, a lot of stations do need a lot of soil movement to happen. So coming out of here though, that's going to be interesting, and we're going to work on that in just a second. In terms of this line here, you should just go into there no problem, and then we should be able to double this stretch up into here if I want to. I'm not really at all sure if I do. In terms of the passengers, I don't really know how this will work when we get to it. It's going to have to cross over, or it's going to have to go into a tunnel. We'll just have to cross that bridge really when we come to it. So if you swoop into there like so, and then if you can join... Oh, come on, there we go, that's better. And then into... Oh, we're just going to leave it like that, to be honest, for now, because we're not going to be using... Well, actually, we might be. That's not necessarily true. So we've got the station here. I already feel like upgrading it to 4. Because, well, I need trains to actually be able to come through here anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this, just because I need some trains to pass through it. Then what we're going to do is, yeah, this is the next part, which is probably going to cost me a lot of money. We want to go down to here. But I believe physically, the drop in height is just too much. It honestly is. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to sort of have to keep it cheap at least, hug the mountain. Which I'm happy to do, but I mean, I can't afford a ridiculously expensive bridge. That's the honest reason. So this is going to be quite weavy and windy as this comes down here. But again, in real life, you see a lot of this anyway, so it's totally understandable. This is going to be an awful hill for trains to climb though, and we're going to definitely need really powerful trains. So we're going to have to bridge part of this anyway, I know that. As we can, actually maybe not. As we continue down here, now we're starting to get to a decent height, and now we need to get across. I'm more thinking actually we're going to have a junction which comes off here now. Like that. What happens if I was to build that like that there? So you've actually gone up quite a bit, and now can that join into that? It can. Quite well actually. So we're going to go for that there, and that is that. That looks not bad at all. So what I am going to do is I'm going to double this section up as well. So you're going to come off here like so. And then I'm just going to double this up, and I'm going to go ahead and signal all of this up and get the trains ready for operation. Right, so that is me basically done a lot of the stuff, but there's one or two questions which we need to sort of address. So that is that. Well, let me put it simply. The goods is going to be challenging because, as I said, there's a hill, plus there's also going to be construction materials. So do I want to move construction materials via the train? Yes, I do. But then I'm going to have two lines on here. We can just see this bus is like holding up all the trucks as well. The trucks are just, the amount of trucks I've got on some of these routes, it's so much, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff wanting to go to Hetton, which we can do via train long term, but I mean that would spin off there and go along here. There's so much I could do honestly right now, it's just insane. So what I am going to do is, as we can see as well, I think 3 trains was too much maybe for the fuel. Maybe we're not getting in enough crude oil because most of it wants to go to Hetton. As we can see here, our train's pulling in. There's only 29 to go to Hetton right now, which is not good at all, so that is very much worrying. What we are going to do is we're simply just going to have the train come through the Coburn Halt. It's not going to stop right now anyway, and that's the way the fuel's going to be done. We're going to continue with the construction materials via truck for the time being. However, long term, I do want that to change. Then after we've done this, basically we're going to turn our attention to going for... We need to sort out the Crimson Express, and then the next episode we need to turn our attention back to passengers, because we need to upgrade buses and or remove some bus routes. That's really the purpose of adding in this train line, or this extra stop on the Crimson line, is so we can actually remove some stuff in the next episode. Okay, so what are we going to go for here? Again, very similar setup. Fuel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the train. Now the trains are actually going to be different. I'm going to splash more cash and go for this, just because it's got a higher tractive effort. It means it should be able to climb hills that little bit faster. We're going to buy one... Oh. I'm out of money. That's a problem, isn't it? Oh well. We're going to stick you guys onto there. And then you guys should be good to go. Now, one or two things I do need to do before that. I'm at negative. Sheesh, I might have spent a little bit too much money, I'm starting to think, aren't I? What are you... Yeah, we will do that very shortly, actually. So one thing I can do now is just remove the trucks outright, which is good. So that should get me quite a bit of money back. So if we go for trucks with fuel, which is this one's here, then yeah, I mean, we've got a lot to sell here. So that got me a good 10 million, which is nice to see. And then we can go ahead and get rid of that. So all that should be coming in here now is just crude oil, which is good. One thing I do need to do is upgrade this to a 2-platform station. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some of the trains coming into here. So if we do that into, or sorry, we do this coming out of here for a bit. Then we do you into there, and then you into there. Then that should solve the problem of having too many trains at this station. So as you can see, yeah, the blue line's going to use that. And that solves that problem. Right now there's a lot of chaos just because everything's changing. But it should be solved very, very shortly. Your production's dropping rapidly, and I'm hoping the stuff moves over or the Coburn at least starts to get its fuel in action, but the reason it probably isn't is because you're not connected up. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a road from A to... Can't just do that to B there. I don't know why we did a country road, and I don't know why it had to be at that angle, so we'll upgrade you there. And then we can just have another one as well, coming along here like so. There we go. Then what we're going to have is... We've got a depot over there for stuff, but I've not thought that through. I suppose you're bringing fuel into here, aren't you? But then does that need to get a truck to go over to there? I don't think we should need trucks to do anything for that matter, so I think as long as the stuff arrives at train station, we should be getting fuel. Again, I don't know how good the fuel coverage is here. It's 25%, which is okay to be fair. So that's interesting, One thing I do want to check on is how's this doing. It's the steel that's still letting us down, so I'm not really at all sure on that one. We'll come back to that at a later stage. You're just gonna plummet, you're gonna crash, aren't you? I mean, what's the demands? Hetton, there's still no demand at Coburn though, which is a bit worrying. And I'm also, I've gained a lot of money back quite quickly, so that's good. But, I mean, the income's at 100 million a year, so I don't really need to worry about money that much. But I can't really afford to run two unprofitable fuel routes. That's the only thing, so we might have to make some alterations at a later stage. And I think it's going to be in the individual towns, just instead of from the train stations. I think we need to do some truck connections, that's really what we need to do. And that's what I'm hoping to work on in the next episodes. Before this episode ends though, we're just going to alter the Crimson line, which is doing mightily successfully, might I add, and I'm also going to add an extra train onto it. So after 4, what's going to happen is you're going to make your way up to 5 at Coburn, and then you're going to return in here for Maidstone at 6, so that's that slight altercation made. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and connect you up to the rest of town. How exactly? Well, it's going to have to be a tram, that's really it. And we'll get that done very, very quickly as well here. So what we're going to do, that's too much slope. We're going to have a... You know what we're going to do? We're going to create a tunnel. If we can, please. Can you not have tunnels going under? No, you can. It's just not that successful, is it? Let me pull this back a little bit. Like so, and then let's go for this to raise up, please. Yeah, there we go, so that's much better. So we just have a tunnel that really connects up to here. We are wanting a tram to come via this road though long term, so I'm going to have a second out point, which is going to... I want it to go over there, but that's just going to cause issues, isn't it? I don't want that to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to build a bridge coming up here like so. And then we're going to have you come down and arrive there like that. So again, it's not the most pretty, but it does connect up the town with its first ever station. And then I'll build the trams in the next episode, because that's going to be... Coburn's a big place, and it's not something which I really want to rush too much anyway. But that's this sort of station thing solution. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but at least we're going to get trains into this town. That's really a big thing. I am looking all over the map and I'm just seeing lots of inefficiency, i.e. here for example, this is not very good, so I am quite worried in terms of a lot of this actually. I am really worried. This road as well, for example, this needs an upgrade, which I'll very quickly do. But it's just small stuff like this, you know what I mean, that is having an effect, and I really do need to keep on top of it. The game's already getting to the stage where it's starting to become quite a task. It's not got past the fun stage. I mean, it's obviously still fun, but it's got past the easy stage. I think that's the best way of saying it. It really has already got past the easy stage. At least this whole road's now doubled up, so that might make a little bit of difference in terms of traffic. So you can already see the amount of cars on this road. That is already making quite a large difference, which is great to see. But on ×3 speed, you don't really get the real representation. The Crimson line's also gone into the negative now, which is not good either. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up here. overall we are, yeah, there's actually a lot of steel. That's good, that's good. But I mean, look, we come up to this town here. This town needs so much more. This town needs a railway line. That's the bottom line. We just need to do a lot. We've got so much to do. That's the bottom line. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into the comment section below and check out the comment section. Leave a comment. Go into the description, check out my Twitter and Patreon. All the support is very much appreciated. And that's all for this video. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.